Pranam everybody. What a wonderful morning and what a wonderful day. I was absolutely amazed to see so many organizations and doing such great work. I was very impressed by Ekal saying that 60% of the people, 2.2 million students, they are women. And that was just a great achievement on the part of Ekal. What today struck me this morning is two things actually. One is that young people who at the present time are willing to stay as not simply Hindus, but as proud Hindus and proud of their own culture. And then to see all that here was absolutely amazing for me. I recall many of my colleagues, and at least some of them who feel that today telling me that you keep talking about pride in your culture. And they keep telling me that in this country, all these different cultures came, they have been totally assimilated. And one of them told me, he said, you know, wait for 2 or 3 generations. You will probably hear and think about Hinduism, not in practical day-to-day life, but probably in a museum or in some setting, libraries, where you'll find your Bhagavad Gita. And today, listening to all of you, I felt so proud because those people who keep telling me those kind of things, that your culture, your identity, that you're so proud talking about, that it will no longer exist after a while. I think that they need to listen to all of you. Because today, as I heard you, I felt very strongly that our identity is going to stay, that our culture is going to thrive, and that it's needed at the present time. To all those people who have been so negative about us, I simply keep telling them that those who came before us, from England, from Ireland, from Germany, many other countries in Europe, and I say they look like you, and I tell them that my kids, they are not going to look like you. They'll still be brown. And even if they want to bleach their face, it's not going to change. And since they are going to stay brown, they'll keep their identity intact, but that is a very superficial way that I talk about it. But today, what you told me is much more profound, and profound in a fashion that what you are doing in all these organizations is absolutely astounding. I was at a Hindu Unity Day, Hindu Sangathan Divas in Houston. And probably you know that that is where many years ago they began it. And the year I was there 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I have been there twice, but they had 50 organizations. I want to congratulate you. The first time that you have done it, and you have 37, 38 organizations. And second, I am absolutely startled that you finished the program on time. We as Indians, and especially Hindus, may not have much else to offer. But once we have this thing in our hand, nobody can take it away from us. Nobody can speak more than you do on nothing. And amazingly, in 2 or 3 minutes, each one of you said profound wisdom at times, And I was very, very impressed. Last night, we were sitting together, and they said there are 37 organizations, and we are going to give them 3 minutes each. I said, no way. You can't do it. And by gum, you did it. So I'm deeply, deeply impressed. I also want to share with you the first time I went to Houston, and somebody stood up, as many of you have said, and said, this is the first time that I have seen people from all our organizations, Hindu organizations, together. And one of them said, he said, you know, until now, I had learned only one thing, that divided we stand, united we fall. United we fall, divided we stand. That each one can do wonderful work, but together we can't. And he was telling me about the temples where people are fighting each other. And he said, you know, amazing part is that here in Rotary Club, in corporations, in the universities, as Hindus, as Indians, we are not simply civil in our discourse, but we are leaders. But when we get together, even Bhagwan looks at us and says, what did I create? So I think the point simply is that I want to congratulate you on two things. One, I was witness to what you did for the World Hindu Congress. You had volunteers in hundreds. You had executed it, obviously planned it, determined in order to see that it's a successful event, executed it beautifully, so my deepest congratulations. This morning, I was told to be here at 8:30. And I came in and I said, you know, 8:30 means that I need to volunteer. What can I do? And then I saw dozens of people and very, very well executed, planned. They were doing all that work, and in about 15, 20 minutes, they were all prepared. And then amazingly, all of this works. There is something wrong, because we are known not for good organization, and we are not known for being able to do things effectively. And you did both, because you put together all this in a very short period of time, and this works. What's wrong? So congratulations on both those counts. I think I will be brief. I know that time doesn't stand still, and obviously you don't have unlimited patience. It's not inexhaustible. So, but let me simply remind you something that you know, that when somebody said, कुछ बात है कि हस्ती मिटती नहीं हमारी, दुश्मन रहा है सालों, सारा जहां हमारा. And then was reminding us that all those people who had wonderful religions at one time, Babylonians, Egyptians, Aztecs, Mayans, great civilizations. You look back, Roman, you look back, Greek, where are they today? And here, you need to remember, and you do, 1,000 years of at times brutal repression. 1,000 years. 800 years of Muslim rule, 200 years of British rule, and after that today, still We are intact. I think the last speaker today told us that there are challenges, told us that at the present time from Bangladesh to Pakistan to many other places, Hindus are being persecuted. And he told us that Hindus are losing their esteemed place in the world community. But I want to remind my friend, he's absolutely right that there are challenges, but he also needs to do understand, in the last 20, 30 years, 40 years, there is a renaissance. In Bharat today, there are young people, not simply in Bharat, but even here, who feel very proud of being a Hindu, who are going back to their own culture. I chair a very small foundation called the Ubera Foundation. It's only about $8 million. And we do teacher training. I just came back from Denver. Yesterday we finished that week of teacher training. There were 17 of them. Never knew anything about India. These are middle school and high school teachers, all of them obviously Americans. And then they want to learn about, and we do simply Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism, dharmic traditions. And I was stunned that those 17 people, 16 of them want to go to Bharat and to understand this culture. And I was very, very pleased to see that. I'm very fortunate. In a Christian university. I'm on the board of trustees, chair of their academic council. And I remember the first time that the president and the chair of the board asked me to serve on the board of trustees. And I asked him, I said, you know who I am? And they said, you're a Hindu. I said, yes, but people call me militant Hindu. And they said, that's all right. And I joined them. But before I joined them, I came home and my wife said, not yet. That not accept the board of trustees for a Christian university. And then they had prospective board members together in a retreat. And in that retreat, I did not know that, but she looked at the president and looked at the chair and said, do you believe in conversion? And both of them said emphatically, no. I came home and she said, you can serve on that board. And I want to share with you also that here in this country, today, young people, and I was very pleased to see the young people here, but not only young people, but especially Mataएं, Bhaineं, women were here. And to see them empowered, and to see them as forceful as you can see around. It's not simply Me Too movement, but more than that, and I want to congratulate you. I think Chicago at one time called the second city and now called the third city. In my mind, it's the first city, because you need to make sure that out of this place, what you showed today, 38, 40 organizations together, and can, one word that from the very beginning I heard, collaborate, cooperate, work together. And I think this 1,000 years of slavery, when we lost all self-esteem, we barricaded our homes, windows, doors, because survival was the only issue. Today, it's more than survival. Today is thriving. Today, it is having in the international arena our own place, our own voice. And I'll conclude by saying, why do we need that? We need that because the heritage that we have, and where we talk about Vasudeva Kutumbakam, or we talk about Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya. They are not slogans. They are not slogans. They are way of life. That is what we believe in. And today what the world needs is that kind of not simply toleration of differences, but acceptance of differences. We go beyond that. We said toleration simply means that I'm superior to you and I tolerate you. We don't believe in that. We believe in saying that we accept you, we respect you, and we respect differences. Today, when the whole world feels, and then here I want to say that to you, Austria, Hungary, Poland, even in this country, where when they talk about nationalism, that nationalism means exclusive. That nationalism means we are the ones who own this place. We don't want you here. We don't want differences to see. You are not wanted. You are not welcome. That's not what Hindus did. That's not what Bharat did. We had from Jews to Zoroastrians to Christians to Buddhists, and now Dalai Lama and all those people, many of you probably have gone, and you have seen Dharamsala, and from above Dharamsala where they are, it's all Tibetan. It's their culture. And we respect it, we have welcomed it, and we welcome all these people who are from around. So in today's world, where toleration is needed, we say acceptance, we say respect. And that is what Bharat has done. And so as Hindus, we feel legacy that we have, culture that we have, history that we have, all of that put together gives us an indication that the world needs us. When in this country with yoga, and I didn't say yoga. Yeah. But Ayurveda, yoga, meditation, and when the big headline on the front page says, we are all Hindus, and the indication simply was that the values that we have, culture that we have, history that we have, it has got a place in this country. It has a need in this country. Not in only this country, but the entire world. And I think I ask myself, why not in this country have an imprint of our own culture in a way that they can have at least some in their own system, educational system. Look back, why shouldn't Kalidas be there? Why shouldn't our own literature have some say in this country which is not there? And I think finally I would say to you that your own kids, they are wonderful in computers, they are wonderful in sciences, they are going to be great doctors. Nobody can beat them in IT. What about humanities? What about social sciences? What about the law? We need to have an imprint on that part as well. So the day is going to come when Bharat's name, Hindu's name, Hindu values, they today are needed all over and they'll thrive all over. I want to thank you very much. You and I are simply instruments. You and I are tools in a way. You and I are happy to be part of that little small dent that we can make in order to see the world and humanity be better, and we as part of making it better. That is what rishis, sages, and munis told us, and that's what we'll do. Thank you.